This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good evening, iRacers. Welcome to the iRacing Esports Network, brought to you by Apex Racing TV. We are here tonight for the BSR MX5 Pro Series Round 2 from the amazing Spa-Francorchamps circuit. I'm Lee Thompson, joined in the booth as normal by Alex Simpson. 4 races for us to look forward to tonight, Alex. It's a big old circuit for these poor little MX5s to try and find their way around.
Yeah, indeed it is. I'm really looking forward to this one. Fantastic circuit, massive amounts of slipstream, huge amount of overtaking going to go on. It'll be, just going to be an epic meeting. I mean, reverse grids, we're going to have a bit of everything today. I mean, what that first sort of Kemmel Straight and Eau Rouge and Radion is going to be like is going to be very interesting indeed. I think we're going to see anything and everything we can. I mean, weather conditions already, looking at the introductory page there, overcast, 19 degrees. It might get a little bit hotter in race 2 and 3, but then typically we're going to see a night race for race 4 as well. That's going to be even more interesting as well. So, yeah, I think we're going to see a bit of everything. And, of course, Lee stepping in this week to cover for Chaz and Tom, who have both had separate issues just all at the same time. So thank you very much for hopping in and covering right at the last minute.
Yeah, it's a nice broadcast for me to be doing. What a circuit for us to watch today. As you say, I think I say each time we happen to meet each other on a broadcast at Spa. Alex, it's our favourite circuit on the service, isn't it? By quite a way. I think it's one that we know so well from so many laps around the F1 car in previous years, and it's surprising. I did a few laps over the weekend randomly in the MX5 actually. I was maybe going to do the Monday race, and it just very quickly comes back to you. Such a different car, but actually it's got quite a similar flow to it. With braking points are still pretty similar, with much lower speeds, of course, going in. And these cars deal with the circuit pretty well. There's not too much of a curb to worry about. They're a little bit understeery, of course, so through some of the quicker corners it's not so bad. Radion can be a little bit tricky at times, but yeah, these guys should be having fun, and it's looking super, super close out there. These guys are running at nearly a 3-minute lap, 2-minute 46, 47, and top 4 cars covered by 3/10 of a second. Yeah,
and all Swift Cooper Esports drivers, I might add, as well. Spot. So yeah, they're having a fantastic little qualifying session out there. They were very quick last week as well, and proving to be very quick once again. Brian Holmes is the next couple. They've just made it a top 5 as Jason Cooper bangs in the fastest time of the session there with a 2 minutes 46.60. So he goes 0.04 of a second quicker than his namesake.
Yeah, that is absolute domination at the front there, isn't it? I wonder how much coordination has actually been through qualifying. Have they been religiously giving each other toes down the massive straights that we've got in the circuit? Has that been making a difference? Well, they've got 4-5 tenths over the next car back in 6th position. So perhaps they have been working well and truly as a team today, and it's done the job. So qualifying is finishing up, waiting for the cars finishing their laps, and then we can see if anyone has been able to break into that top 5.
Yeah, and I think just to come on to your point, I think actually, like, if you're not going to work together at a place like Spa in this little MX5, where there is, like, massive sections where you're flat out. I mean, on the F1 calendar, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe, isn't this the circuit where you were flat out for the longest portion of time? I appreciate they might not be able to go flat out through Eau Rouge. They might be able to, because they might not have the actual physical grunt and speed to
Eau Rouge is flat. They're flat for Eau Rouge, and the car slows quite a bit up the hill.
Yep.
The only corner they need to be slightly careful on is the corner they're just working their way through now. Sorry, after the Kemmel Straight sort of thing. Yeah, that sweeping left-hander. Forget the corner name for a second there. So you have to be careful. That's a fair. Yeah, Pouhon. Sorry, there we go. Thank you. My track map doesn't have Pouhon listed on there. It confused the hell out of me. Pouhon's a little bit tricky in this car. They've definitely got to slow a reasonable chunk for that. Maybe go down to 4th, depending on the driver. I think it's somewhere in between banging it into 4th and holding 5th. But as you say, Eau Rouge, Radion, they're flat, as are Blanchimont. Yeah, so they're no problem in these cars.
You can see the asymmetric guys were working together. Stuart Dick there just pulling up. He obviously got himself an off track, but his 2 teammates are still out there. So we're looking at James McRitchie. He's actually, I think, giving the toe. Is he going to move out of the way for his teammate? Yes, he does. So let's see. There's an improvement there. Time to beat 2 minute 50.05 for an improved lap. Looks like he's definitely had the short stall. Well, yeah. Checks it up. No, it does cross the. No, it doesn't cross the line. Sorry. And sorry, that was a 2 minute 50.07 was the last lap. He did a 2:48.99. So apologies for that one. Right.
So nobody did break that domination in the top 5. Then Swift Cooper Esports locking out the first 5 spots, and as I say, by quite a way as well, by 0.4 of a second. That was some job by those guys. So yeah, as the session moves forward, then we'll be able to bring up the confirmed grid on screen, and we'll be ready then for, as we said, 4 races tonight, 20 minutes, 15 minutes a pop, and these guys are going to be settling in for, I think, some pretty carnage. Although we got this little bit of a gap, I said, from 5th to 6th. Looking down the rest of the field, they're very, very close. Lots of cars in the mid 47s, lots of cars in the mid 48s. There's going to be some serious pack racing once that toe kicks in as well.
Yeah, and I don't even think that 0.4 of a gap is going to be enough for the Swift Cooper boys to pull away from the likes of Holmes and Rizzo, Hefford. They're all too quick and tucked up behind that. Behind them and in that draft train, they're just going to be able to stay with. They're too good in the corner to lose that sort of time. So, and just a Kemmel Straight in the draft will catch that sort of time up as well. So, yeah, this is they've done the right thing in terms of locking out the qualifying. Of course, it gives them every opportunity to try and control the race and just exchange positions where they need to keep the likes of Excite and SimLab behind them. But they're definitely not going to be pulling away from them, that's for sure. Right, we have the official standings then.
Right, so we confirm the grid, as we said. Jason Cooper takes that pole position by just under 0.04 of a second from Luke Cooper in the sister car. Niels Carterson then in 3rd with Marcelo Pagnan in 4th. Elmer Ellicott in 5th with the last of those Swift Cooper Esports cars. So that's 0.3 spread between those guys. 6th position then is Brian Holmes. 7th is Cesario Rizzo. 8th, Steve Hefford. 9th, Ashley Beard. 10th is Adam McNally. 11th is James McRitchie. 12th is Nick McCarron. 13th is Adam Delmont. 14th is Dave Hampson. 15th is Kip Stevens with Peter Van Gool in 16th. 17th is Stuart Dick with Will Daniels in 18th. Billy Rose in 19th. Rob Graham in 20th. sorry, Rob Graham in 20th. There we go. Benjamin Mears in 21st. Abdul Alami in at 22nd. David Ayres in 23rd. Craig Jones 24th. Mikey Key 25th. Michael Waterman 26th. Joe McDonald in 27th. And Ralph Cullinan in 28th. I think we'll leave it there for risk of the race getting underway. But that is a full grid there, going all the way back to the bus stop. You can see 41 runners we've got in the race here. It's going to be a busy field. Looks like pretty much everyone is on the grid. Don't see any gaps instantly. So just a few seconds and lights will be going.
Yeah, I think maybe 2 drivers were still waiting for Stephen Cooley and Max Wright to make it to there. I don't know if there was any penalties from the first round. There could well have been, so they might have to have a pit lane start. Max Wright makes his way to the grid, so just Stephen we're waiting for. I think he's going to turn up. No, he's not. Lights are on, revs are building.
And so it looks like a pretty clean start from the front cars then. Everyone's going to be streaming into La Source. How carnage is it going to be in the middle of the track? First 3-4 cars all get through cleanly. Teammates working well together. Actually looking pretty good so far. Not really seeing any contact in the midfield. Wow, what a start, Alex. The whole grid got through La Source.
Yeah, it's pretty unheard of. Although Spa, if you get through that one, it tends to be up the hill and down the Camel Straight and into Lacombe that we see the problem. So let's not tempt fate too quickly. See what they can do down here, because this is the all-important section where the slipstream really kicks into high gear.
So Jason Cooper and Luke Cooper then side by side for the lead. And looking about to go 3 wide with Marcelo Pagnan quickly coming through. He's just got his nose ahead now. How late is they going to be into Lacombe? Pagnan does take the lead. Jason Cooper then in second, with Luke Cooper relegated down into third. Pretty clean again through the midfield. Still a good run through this section for Holmes as well, as he's around the outside of Carterson and just about gets his nose ahead, and all just behind, dives up the inside into that right-hander there, carrying that momentum well, but he's got the opportunity to switch back now on the corner of No Name, but actually Hefford it is that manages to make that position through those 2 corners.
And I think this is what Excite and SimLab needed to do. They needed to get in and separate. Oh, we have an accident a bit further back. Who is that? It's Craig Jones flying down the order at the moment so quickly I can't keep up with him. Keep missing the click on the naming panel. But yeah, so problems for him. And there's a few others just having to take some avoiding action. Yeah, so a bit unfortunate there. Great little battle going on. This is quite a way back. This is 27th, 28th. Jack Ashton and Rafe Cullinan involved in that one. But a good first start, but really important, like I say, for Excite and SimLab to get in amongst the Swift Cooper guys so they don't get it completely their way. A couple of cars are breaking away, 0.7 of a second. Luke Cooper not quite with his teammates, but he should be able to catch back up with the draft as they just exchange positions up front. I think they're going to do this pretty much on every straightly.
Yeah, so we're going to see this 2 continuing to take effect and them switching back and forth. But as you say, the front 2 just trying to get away ever so slightly, but it's not going to be enough as they come towards the bus stop. Cooper, Van Pagnan, and Cooper again, and then Holmes has got himself in the mix, trying to go around the outside into the first part of bus stop. Inside now for the second part. Cooper's going to get a little bit of a cutback maybe, but Holmes then, great job, up to 3rd position through the bus stop.
Yeah, and Heffer trying to gain more places, actually went wide and lost himself one there to Niles Carstensen there. And it's going to have to go for a move back up the inside, and can't quite do. Rizzo decides he's going to go around the outside of Hefford instead. So, Rizzo with a great move. So, bit of infighting amongst the SimLab guys, and actually you can see a bit of damage on Hefford's car. So, quite know where he picked that up, but that might just slow him down. Ashley Beard having a little look through Eau Rouge, never easy to go too wide, but they do it pretty comfortably, I have to say. And another Swift Cooper car in there, trying to move back forward.
Yeah, it looks like they're about to go 4 wide as they work their way down the Camel Straight as well. Just see the midfield all spread out, 2 rows of 4 from the looks of it, and a little bit of touching between 2 middle cars there as well. I would not want to be on the inside or in the middle. They're just about hanging on a little bit of contact again. Great job. We see some damage on one of the cars, but they get through absolutely Round of applause indeed. Oh, and then the difficult bit's done, and then we just run out of road somehow on exit of Lake Coombe. Manages to keep it out of a barrier, but back to free wide again.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Like, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen 4 wide come out so well. I mean, they were pretty close. There was a little bit of rubbing. I expected to see almighty pile up as well. And yeah, they give each other the room just to make it through. Yeah, brilliant driving from all of them there. Hence the applause that I needed to do.
Yeah, as you say, that was slightly unexpected for them to all survive through there. So back up the front, and Brian Holmes still trying to mix it in with the Swift Cooper Esports cars, but right on the tail of Jason Cooper as they come around the back of the circuit. You see a fair bit of damage on Holmes' car there as well, so it doesn't seem to be affecting his pace for the minute, but certainly he's been fighting it to get himself in amongst the lead pack, and almost now the lead 5 cars just breaking away ever so slightly from 6th position Dave Hampson, who's gained 8 positions from his grid slot. So great job to get himself in that point where he's just got the leading pack just within his fingertips.
Yeah, he's just about holding on to the draft there, isn't he? I think so. As long as he doesn't sort of get, Rizzo doesn't sort of get involved, or their teammates, so I would think they're going to give him half a lap or so just to try and close this gap down. The minute they start having a little battle themselves, of course they're going to really compromise themselves. So 1.4, don't force him to break offline or anything like that. That's really going to do it. So closes in a little bit under brakes, and Hefford really sliding one into the bus stop as well. It's James Ritchie that's right behind him as well. Ritchie, he's up 2 places. McNally is pretty much static, and Holmes suddenly out of nowhere just flies up 2 places on the timing tower.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, straight up into first position through the end of the lap there. So, great run through the back of the circuit. I think used that draft well. We know he's not got enough gap now to break away down the Kemmel Straight. The Swift Cooper cars, Cooper and Pagnon, are going to be coming back at him after Eau Rouge here. But, yeah, from that 6th position starting spot all the way up to first already, it's been a cracking few laps from Holmes. And here comes a train behind him now. So looking to go 3 wide, the leaders. So Cooper, Pagnon, Holmes, and just cutting in back to 2 to have another second grab of the draft, but it's not quite enough. Pagnon leads as they go into Lake Coombe, and further back we can see they're pairing up as well. McRitchie. Oh, and Hefford as well. Hefford just about going to hang on to that outside line on the second part of Lake Coombe, and now he's got the inside for Maldemy, sorry. And yeah, he takes that position in the end. So Hefford, in fact, I think it retains 8th position rather than gains it, and McRitchie now under pressure from McNally as well. And McNally, great job, keep his nose in there, and it's not quite been enough for the next corner, and indeed Ritchie covers it off.
I think Hefford's struggling with straight line speed. Of course, he was right on the tail of his teammates Hampson and Rizzo just perhaps a half a lap ago. So yeah, maybe hasn't got that straight line speed, hence the damage on the front affecting his aero. Sort of change all the time. We'll have to keep an eye, see what he does, see if he can hold on to that position. But yeah, back at the front. So the 2 Swift Cooper guys make themselves to the top of that pack. And Holmes, who is up 3 spots, definitely shown his intent that he can get by these guys, and he will do. It's just all about timing it right. Of course, 15-minute timed race here today. And then what happens after that, we see how many laps we get in the first one, and that's going to be how many laps you get for race 2, 3, and 4. And if you're wondering, the little blue slash next to the name dictates there, or lets us know what class they're in. So everyone we can see on the timing tower right now is a pro. But if I just scan back a little bit, we've got Joe McDonald and Mikey Key, who are actually fighting it out for the AM win at the moment as well. So 2 classes out there, pro and AM, and the green is the AM. And yeah, these guys just a 1/10 of a second apart, but just fighting just as hard as what the pros are to win the AM race too.
Yeah, and it's looking super busy as they come towards the bus stop.
Oh, God, it is.
Contact from behind, and they're going to just get themselves shuffled back into order, and the spin further up ahead as well somehow. And we see the tyre smoke from one of the cars ahead. Very surprising to see that. It must have been contact on the exit of the bus stop there. Quite a strange position to see a spin in such a low-powered car. If it was an F1 car, I'd expect it. Spin the tyres up as you come out of the bus stop.
Yeah, we used to love that corner in the FW31, didn't we, Lee?
Yeah, the Williams,
the-
that gives me nightmares. That does.
The minute they changed variable weather and we had a tailwind coming out of that corner, I tell you what, that was a lethal corner when you just wanted to smash the gas pedal and get going. Did not want to play ball.
So back up front, Brian Holmes still hanging on to the lead, but he's going to be under pressure again as they come into the Lacoon. 3 wide going in. Jason Cooper it is who's just about got his nose ahead as they go into the corner, but Holmes trying to hang it in there desperately. He's on the outside now, both of the last section, so Cooper does get that position. Holmes second. Pagnan got an excellent run through the right-hander there. He might have a little bit of a sniff now as they come to Bruise and backs out of it in the end. But side by side, a little bit of contact was it between Cooper and Hampson there. So Cooper's just about got the better of that, but very, very tough between the two guys as they went through the back of the circuit there. So yeah, these top 5 cars really have broken away now. 4 seconds back to McRitchie. But Hampson it was that actually did manage to bridge that gap, because of course I said that he was the one that was trying to hang on to that lead group. So he's managed to pull himself well and truly into the mix now. 9 positions gained from the start. And it's Ellicott, is it, who's really dropped back for the Swift Cooper guys down into 11th. So he's lost this lead pack now, down 6 spots from his group.
Battle going on here as well. In this battle 4-6, that's McRitchie and McNally side by side. Delmont just behind them. And to the back of that pack, you've got a little battle going on as well. But I think just about everywhere we look, there's a battle going on the circuit, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the theme of the night, isn't it? So we've got such a huge entry here, 41 cars around this track with such space and such opportunity for towing. These cars are just going to be running side by side the whole race long, I think. And back up the front then, Holmes and Cooper and Pagnan again, all battling as they come into the bus stop. Who's going to be latest and bravest on the brakes? Well, Holmes for now holds on in the bus stop, held that inside line, but misses the apex completely on the second part. It's almost as if he was concerned that Cooper was still there, but from my camera angle, it looked like he could have taken the apex, and that's allowed Cooper a bit more of a sniff. Not quite going to have enough tow now into the source. So yeah, Brian Holmes survives for a minute, but again is going to be under severe pressure, as he has been already, as they come down to Kemmel Straight.
2-minute 49 lap. I mean, we're going to get this one and maybe one more afterwards. Do you start to think about that? You know, if you're now Jason Cooper, do you think, well, you know, do I go through this one? Because he's going to get an opportunity right now. He's going to get the draft. Let's go on board actually, and see the draft in effect. You know, is he going to lift? Is he going to stay behind, or is he going to go through this one and try and fight it on the final lap? And he does decide to go through. So yeah, through. And what about Marcelo? Is he going to go through?
Yeah, he's decided to stay behind it. So
he's sort of having a little lift there, isn't he? So yeah, the game of chess begins then, Lee. I think. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drivers are positioning themselves and just determining when they're going to go for it.
Yeah, as you say, you don't want to be leading perhaps on the approach to the bus stop. Maybe you want to be second on the approach to the bus stop and have the run coming through Blanchemont. You know, that's the place maybe to be. But we've not seen a huge amount of overtaking through that section so far. It's mostly been Kemmel Straight. We know that Holmes off camera did move up into the lead initially somewhere on the back of the circuit. So the opportunity is there. But the guys have certainly found it easiest so far on Kemmel Straight, and we could hear that they're saying about 5th or 4th of that gear earlier on around Pouon, and we heard Marcelo going down into 4th there briefly.
Going to stay on board. I mean, obviously he's got a little bit of competition right up his chuffer with Luke Cooper and Dave Hampson here as well. So it's not smooth sailing for Marcelo. So he needs to keep an eye on what's going on behind. But yeah, going to be all important. I think next lap is going to be the real busy one. Everyone is going to have an opportunity. I wonder if we'll see another 4 wide moment going into Lacoon.
Yeah, we can already see Holmes closing ahead on Cooper. So even sort of really midway through the final corner onto the straight there, he was already gaining, and already he's looking to move out. Going to try and go around the outside of Blanchemont, or maybe he's just taking a wider line so he doesn't actually end up overlapping yet. But no, he has stayed along side by side, so now he's going to have the inside for the bus stop then. So yeah, we can see that opportunity is going to be there for the final lap. Holmes then clear before even the braking zone, it looks like. Cooper doesn't really do anything too drastic. A little bit of contact behind, it sounded like as well, maybe between Pagnon and Cooper, third and fourth. But yeah, Holmes takes that position, and Cooper, deciding maybe that he's seen that's the spot where he can repay the favour next time by.
Yeah, that is definitely a trial run for Holmes there, I feel. Because he knows if he gets overtaken, then he's going to be able to defend. And of course,
but again, he's
now
sort
Cooper
of showing his hand though.
Yeah, exactly. Cooper now knows.
Exactly. Cooper now shouldn't try and make a move into Lake Coombe. I mean, how much pressure is he going to get from his teammates behind might be the question. How much can he actually lift? But really, he's seen that. Yeah, he can try and make that move on Holmes as they come to the bus stop next time by. So here he comes then. What are we going to do? Are we going to stay foot down or are we going to lift? No, we'll keep him foot down. So Cooper's going to drive straight past again. Pagnon's right there as well, 3 wide, so there's no option to lift at all. Holmes all of a sudden down to third. Pagnon now is the one with his nose ahead as they come into Lake Coombe. And Holmes maybe going to try and come back into second. He does, just gets his nose in there, so Cooper can't take his line. And how much of a cutback can Holmes get for this final corner now? A little bit. You see it was a slightly wider entry, but it's certainly not enough now to get a run before the next right-hander. So Pagnon takes the lead for maybe the first time in a race. Then Cooper, then Holmes, then Luke Cooper, then Dave Hampson in that fifth. Still lurking just a couple of attempts back.
I think second is where you want to be, frankly.
Yep.
Get out the way, trees.
Sure.
But because I don't think Holmes is going to be able to go around the outside of the pair of them. So yeah, Cooper definitely in a very, very strong position right now. And maybe that's good teamwork because Pagnon's come through. He's gone, right, well, anyway, we're going to stop Brian winning this as if we get 2 cars ahead of him. So let's go for it. I'll sacrifice possibly a win to, make sure we at least get possibly a 1-2. If they can block the track up, that's going to stop Brian. So maybe that's their thoughts. I imagine they're all in Discord or TeamSpeak having a chat and trying to decide what's going on here. They've got long enough to talk about it, haven't they, in these MX5s? Well, here we go.
Yeah. And they've even got long enough to talk about it now as they come down the back straight. But as you say, it looks like they may well have this organised pretty well. Pagnon's got 3.5 tenths, so he comes off the final corner there. Jason Cooper is certainly going to get a run, but what is Brian Holmes going to be able to do with these 2 cars in front? Is he going to be able to force his way through towards the bus stop? He's already having a little sniff down the inside as they approach Blanchemont, but nothing doing for now. 2 Swift Cooper cars right on each other's noses as they come off the corner, side by side into the bus stop. Brian Holmes trying to make it 3 wide, trying to push and barge his way through as much as he can, but the cars ahead are blocking him off nicely. Little bit of contact for the 4th car, but Holmes still trying to get his nose in. Little bit of a touch behind. Way off the track there goes Pagnon. Cooper gonna not quite get the run, and Pagnon then super wide off the last corner takes the win.
In the background.
Over the finish
Checkers
line.
or wreckers. So, I want to point out that it was a 1-2-3 for Swift Cooper Esports there as well. Holmes got muscled out at the end. So yeah, great job for Luke. He got to the outside of Brian and got a much better exit and was able to get the run. And then I really don't know quite what happened there. There were so many cars coming across the finish line all at once.
Yeah, that was, like I say, that was pretty manic at the end there with the midfield. So here we go then. Yeah, nice opportunity to see what was happening for the back of the top 10 and how they managed to get their way through the bus stop. So busy, even through Blanchemont. How did they hang that together with the cars just up ahead there? Into the bus stop then, everyone jinking right and left, trying to get a little bit of space. 2 by 2 as they go in. And where's the big contact going to happen then? Getting pushed off the exit of the corner. And
someone out
a little bit of contact right there.
The Excite car almost looks like it was out of fuel or something, but I don't really think they lost any places out of that any more than they just didn't quite have the momentum, so we're always going to lose the one. So actually, they kind of ended up where they were. So they're not gonna moan too much, but took the off track well. Did Marcelo there? You kept them in the reserve, and you kind of got to use them for that sort of thing, So you got to play to the rules. I'm not gonna sit here and say that you shouldn't be, or it's a bit naughty or whatnot like that. But everyone's the same, and if you keep one in reserve, for the final lap, so you can run off wide and do a sort of Kimi Räikkönen-esque line, I say go for it.
Yeah, so a little bit of gamesmanship maybe, but as you say, certainly nothing too extreme. And certainly when it was your teammates you're defending against as well, then there's not going to be so much of a concern. But yeah, I was so distracted by watching Pagnan take that wide line that I completely missed Holmes just miss out on that podium. Which, I mean, he was in the podium from very early on, so Holmes, I'm sure, was not very happy getting bundled down to fourth at the end. But as we were saying, it looked like the Swift Cooper guys had it well organised in that last lap. We could see how they positioned themselves, taking that 1-2 spot at the end there, and it was always going to be tricky to try and then outplay them just into the bus stop there. But yeah, pretty manic all the way through.
Yeah,
and very clean as well, though, wasn't it? So we didn't have any. We had obviously a little incident at the end there. We had a little incident sort of halfway through the first lap. Other than that, did we really see any cars going off and crashing off the rest of the race? It looked like some pretty good driving for the guys.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I didn't really see too much. I thought it was good. Couple of little bits here and there, nothing more than just good hard racing, really. So just trying to get the wheel organised. Sorry, because I just a bit slack and haven't got it ready. I was like, I'm missing something here. There's something missing off my screen, and apparently it's a wheel. So while I'm sorting that out, Lee, I wonder if you can take them through the final standings.
Absolutely can. So yeah, Swift Cooper then lined up P1 to P5 on the grid, while they managed to lock up the podium P1 to P3. So I would say that was absolutely job done for the team there. Marcelo Pagnan, taking the win after moving into that lead position just a lap from the end. Jason Cooper then taking second, and as you say, Luke Cooper, great opportunity taking at the end there to mug Brian Holmes off of the bus stop and nicking that last podium spot. Brian Holmes, as I say, into fourth. I'm sure he's disappointed because he has in for a good shout for the win there. Dave Hampson then just finished 7/10 off in the end from fifth. But the gap they had to the rest of the field, 5 seconds and a little bit of change from sixth position to Adam Delmont. James McRitchie then in seventh with Ashley Beard in eighth. Adam McNally in ninth. Jamie Ayres 10th. Elmer Ellicott in 11th with Jack Ashton in 12th. Kip Stevens 13th. Steve Hefford in 14th. Peter Van Gool in 15th, Cesaro Rizzo in 16th, Will Daniels in 17th, with Mikey Key in 18th. 19th was Stuart Dick with Nick McCarron in 20th. Cole Hardy then 21st with Martin Plowman in 22nd. Scott Malcolm 23rd with Rob Graham in 24th. Ralph Cullinan in 25th with Roy Viverke in 26th. Carl Jacquelet 27th. Craig Jones 28th. Martin M, unfortunately, only displayed on overlay as that in 29th. Billy Rose in 30th. Michael Wortman in 31st with Michael Barry in 32nd. David Ayres then in 33rd with Benjamin Mears in 34th. Joe McDonald then in 35th, 1 lap down, as was Niels Carterson in 36th. And in 37th was Abdul Al-Amari. 38th was Jerome Ursum. 39th was Stephen Cooley. 40th Max Wright. And 41st was Graham Sessford. That was not bad. 41 cars on the grid, and we only had 6-7 cars who were a lap or more down. So that shows, good, decent job from the guys out there. Pretty clean racing, it looked like.
Yeah, and it was Martin Sampson. So we'll try and fix your name for the second race. I'm not quite sure what it is. I think there's a couple of initials in the middle. Just throwing our overlay out of whack. So apologies, mine. We'll, like I say, during the break, we'll see if we can get that resolved. But it is reverse wheel time. Oh, I did manage to get it ready. So let's give it a spin. See who's going to be on that pole position. And this is one of the few occasions, Lee, where we've been in the booth together, where we've actually got a numbered grid that can really take effect of some of the numbers that are on this wheel. So this should be an interesting. That said, we've got a number that we haven't got, and it's 50.
That's pretty good. You got to try hard to do that. You get a 41 car grid, and the reverse grid will overshoot. So that's pretty good going.
So yeah, full reverse grid. Who will that put onto the pole position?
I forget who the last car was in.
Right.
Only one lap down.
Bring it back up again, just so we can double check.
One of the 30, maybe Neil Carlson. Let's have a look at the next page. Yeah, so Neil Carlson then is going to take that pole position from 36, finishing in that race. He takes pole with Joe McDonald, who's going to be lining up alongside him in second position for Swift Cooper Esport again. Get pole position again, Alex, for race 2. So That seems a little bit suspect, maybe after their lockout for race 1. So so we got. Sorry, go on, Alex.
Well, I was going to say, well, no one's bribed me this time or anything like that, so you know.
Well, I heard a murmur on broadcast last night that we just type a number in and the wheel goes to that number, but I can assure everybody that was a bad joke. So that's race 1 completed then. 3 more races to go for the evening. Whilst we are away, remember to check out iRacing.com if you are not currently a member, and have a look at what options they've got out there. Lots of exciting cars coming out at the moment. BMW M8 has just come out, and from the sounds of it, everybody is liking that. And and we shall be back in not too long for race 2. Welcome back, iRacers, to race 2 of the evening for the BSR MX5 Pro Series, brought to you by Apex Racing TV on the iRacing Esports Network. Lee Thompson here, joined by Alex Simpson, again ready for race 2. We've got a big old reverse grid to look forward to now. We saw 36 cars from the spin of the wheel at the end of race 1 that have been reversed, and we can see that Niels Carterson is going to be on pole position with Joe McDonald lining up alongside him in second. Benjamin Mearson in third with David Ayers in fourth. Michael Barry in fifth with Michael Wortman in sixth. Billy Rose seventh with Martin Sampson in eighth. Craig Jones in ninth with Cole Jacquelet in 10th. Roy Ververke in 11th with Ralph Cullinan in 12th. I can hear the res building, so I think we're going to pause there as the lights are just about to go green. And it's a good clean start from the front from Niels Carterson. He's got a little bit of a jump on the field there. Look at him streaking ahead towards La Source. How is it going to shape up back towards the top 10 a little bit? I see a dive up the inside a little bit further back, but they just about get away with it. And the rest of the cars through the back towards the 20s. Oh, one spin randomly on the AstroTurf on the exit at Lecum. Made contact with one other car, but fortunately everyone else streaks by. So just that one spin and one contact, and everyone else looks pretty clean. As Carterson leads them up Eau Rouge towards Radion. Joe McDonald well and truly tucked up in the slipstream and already moves out early, breaks out of that slipstream, and is driving up alongside straight away. These two just got half a second gap to the cars behind.
Yeah, that gap's going to come down by the end of the straight to almost nothing, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, McDonald through, got the best of the run, and Niels just tucks back in just to get a bit of extra draft, just a little bit wide for McDonald.
Oh, it looks busy back there as well, Alex. If we can go back towards Lecum a little bit, yeah, look at them streaking through. So many side by sides they work their way through. We got a spin on the exit of Lecum there, and ended up in the centre of the circuit. So I think that's going to create a fair bit of contact. I'm seeing a number of cars dropping down our SDK live timing screen. So I think there's going to be a fair few cars struggling with damage there. I see Ashley Beard out of the race already. But yeah, that was the only big incident really that I think we saw. Otherwise, looked pretty clean for the rest of them.
I'll see if I can't get a replay of that, see exactly who was involved in that in a moment. Let's watch the rest of the first lap and we'll jump back and see exactly what happened.
So Carterson then still leading them through as they come towards the back of the circuit. Joe McDonald holding on to second. In fact, the top 6 cars, Alex, no change of positions. The top 6 are all in their grid spots. That is pretty surprising after that huge toe down Camel Straight and all that opportunity for him to get by. First change position we got is 7th place. Craig Jones gained 2 spots off his grid slot. And yeah, look at this. Just wild pack of cars working their way through towards campus.
First lap mayhem. Don't miss that in the BSR TC, that's for sure. That's going to start back up again in just a couple of weeks' time, so I'm going to have that to look forward to.
And so Craig Jones then side by side with Billy Rose. They come towards Blanchemont. Car behind, almost trying to make it 3 wide as well. Cole Jacquelet, I think that is. And contact has ended up on the AstroTurf on the end of Blanchemont. Lost the rear and smashed straight into the side of Craig Jones, who we were watching. Everyone else managed to streak by. Unfortunate for Jones there, he was the innocent party there, and just forget the car who was alongside him, just lost the rear on the AstroTurf, and that was that.
Just
so here's the incident at the start then, yeah, at Lecum. So it's Jack Ashton who got hit from behind, and then, to be fair, most of the cars managed to get through pretty clean. That could have been a lot worse. Those 3 cars all managing to stay on the outside of the circuit, so unlucky for them, but fortunate for the rest of the field that we didn't have a giant pile up there. Easily could have been.
Yeah, I think Ashton might have had a follow-up to this shortly afterwards. Damaged car.
The car looks well damaged, yeah.
So indeed does go around. And what else did we see? And then of course there was this one. Craig Jones on the first lap.
Yes, I forget the car who it was. That was side by side, but yeah, just lost the rear.
Oh.
Well, in fact, no, didn't really lose the rear. It was just him coming back onto the circuit, in fact, wasn't it? He just seemed to panic a little bit, maybe that he was running out of track. He could have just continued his line, really. Didn't need to snap back. It's not like there was any grass there or anything coming up. So, yeah, unfortunate for Jones there. But back at the front then, Benjamin Mears now has moved himself up into second. He's got ahead of Joe McDonald. Michael Barry all of a sudden moved up into 4th as well, jumping David Ayers. So we've got these few changes of position finally for these top 5 spots. So we've got Cartenson, then Mears, then McDonald, then Barry, then Ayers, then Wortman, then Rose, then Graham, then Cullinan and Steve Hefford. Steve Hefford, Alex, 10th position, gained 13 spots from the start.
Yeah, none too shabby. Let's bring him up on screen as well. So you're already looking at number 14. It's Rafe Cullinan, just 0.14 a second behind, and he pokes out from the slipstream. It's going to send one up the inside through Puon. Unfortunately, Rafe sees him coming and just leaves a little bit of room. And yeah, that move's going to be done and dusted as well, I think. Although, going to have to go around the outside to complete it.
Yeah, it looked like, as you said, Steve Hefford had that sorted, but yeah, Cullinan doing a great job at trying to hang on for as long as he can, but finally the switchback means that Hefford manages to take that position. So Cullinan trying to come back at him now as they come into campus, but no dice this time by. So Hefford looking pretty aggressive. That move into Puon initially, just shoving it up inside there. He was keen to get a move on as Cullinan loses another spot behind.
I think he needed to get a move on as well. They're now 1.5 seconds ahead of him, so he's almost out of that draft. I think that was why the sense of urgency. Get by, keep the draft, have an opportunity to close back up and quickly as possible. Don't want to have to work his way back into it. And actually, I would say he's almost out of the draft now.
And so leaders were side by side for a moment, but Cardenson hangs on. Mias has to slot in behind. Rob Graham side by side as they come into the bus stop as well, as Wortman tries to recover from an issue and ends up clobbering into the cars alongside him. Adam McNally falling back. We've got cars falling down Hampson as well. So I think we had more contact there at the bus stop out of camera shot. And yeah, 3 cars there all dropping down the order.
It's going to get interesting for the lead now. I think Mia's definitely going to get a run this time in the Automech not kill car. And Joe McDonald's still there in the Excite iRacing Academy car as well. So not sure we're going to be 3 wide.
Away
but
all of a sudden. 2-second gap they got to the cars behind somehow. I'm not quite sure where that gap developed. But yeah, side by side now. Then, as you said, Mias coming up the outside down Camel Straight. Joe McDonald's tucked in the draft as well, so he's going to be coming very, very quickly as well. And Cardenson might be getting hung out to dry a little bit as he tries to tuck back into the slipstream of Mias. And actually, that's worked quite nicely. He's going to try and hang on to the inside as they come into Lake Coombe, all over the inside curb. McDonald tries to get his nose in on the second part of Lake Coombe, but isn't able to quite get the run. Might get a little bit of a cutback here. Yeah, look how much quicker he was for the apex, but it's not a long enough run to the next corner. So yeah, Mias takes the lead for now. Cardenson holds on to second, and McDonald, yeah, having a sniff, but having to wait in that 3rd position.
There's only 1.7 seconds behind, so he'll be hoping that they battle a little bit more like that, because he took about 3-4 tenths of a second out of them there. Steve Hefford moving forward once again, and he's caught up onto the back of Billy Rose, the Northern Lights racing car from earlier on, I think, that made contact with the Result Clothing car on that one.
Yeah, so you said just a minute ago how Hefford had quite a gap to try and get to the cars ahead, and already he's closed up into this pack. Up into 7th position now as Billy Rose has a little sniff as they come into Lafagna there, but nothing happening at that time by. Yeah, it's just looking busy. Brian Holmes falling down the field as well. Race 1, 4th position. It's not going to be that good for Holmes this time by, but he recovers. I can't see any obvious damage straight away, so he may be able to get up to speed. I hear more contact up ahead though, Alex. Can't see anyone falling down the timing screen, so it's Plowman, we think, getting involved with Delmont ahead of him, so perhaps that's where the contact was, but they both seem to be surviving for now, and Delmont's covered off that position, and it's just looking super busy back there at the bottom end of the top 20.
I was going to say, wherever we look in that, it's just so close, just nothing separating them. Timing screen is completely red for us.
yeah, absolutely. And clambers over the first part of the curve there for Cardenson. Michael Barry getting a little bit of a touch from behind, I think, stepping the rear out mid-corner of the bus stop, but hangs on to it. Fortunately, such a low-power car, you can have a decent shout of gathering it back up again, and all just squabbling out of the bus stop there as they start their next lap 4 of the race.
It's insane.
But Cardenson hang on to the lead still.
Yeah, that is absolutely ridiculous. Like, just that.
Oh, spinning in the background.
That's Rose.
Billy Rose.
And the Northern Lights car around. Oh, he's just recovering. Takes another little whack, and I think that's caused him suspension damage, actually. I think he was okay, but now he's got a bit of suspension damage there. So, Rose, well, that's hurt big time. And
Yeah,
it's
Scott Malcolm
someone on the
falling down
roof.
the order as well.
Yeah, Rose recovering while pulling it over to the side. So who was that? Sorry, that was on the. It's
I saw
upside
Scott
down.
Malcolm falling down the order. We've got Stuart Dick there with damage. David Ayres now I'm seeing dropping down a little bit. But yeah, big instance there all the way through from the source to Eau Rouge. So it looks like Stuart Dick's already got big damage as he goes up Eau Rouge there. So the instant must have been more towards La Source for him. And I've seen Peter Van Gool drop down the timing screens as well now. So lots of issues all time by. And there we go. Scott Malcolm then doing a pirouette in the middle of the straight coming up to Eau Rouge. Oh, and everyone just about streaking by. But somehow then, I'm guessing they were 3 wide and there was contact over the pit wall, the endurance pit wall.
It was actually slow, yeah, and he had to avoid him there. Yeah, avoided him straight into the wall.
Yeah, so that gives us 6 cars showing out of the race for the moment from 41 starts. That's still not a bad return after the 4 laps round here in these busy races that we get in the MX5s. Joe McDonald, whilst we've been away, has taken the lead from Carstensen, Benjamin Mears down in 3rd, but these front 3 looking very busy. And then the next car in line trying to chase him down, Alex, Steve Hefford. Steve Hefford gained 19 positions, and each time we've looked at him, he's moved forward at least another spot. So yeah, Steve Hefford up to 4th, Rob Graham just behind him in 5th, Michael Barry 6th, and then another big move in the 7th. Elmar Ellicott is also gained 19 positions from the start.
Yeah, as far as I can see, the biggest mover on the field so far, Jason Cooper up 23 spots even, and Marcelo as well up 22. So yeah, some big moves out there. Adam Delmont actually just up 22 too. So yeah, a lot of people making a lot of ground out there right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cartons has taken the lead as they come through the bus stop on Joe McDonald. So he gets for a run this time as they come onto a front straight as Mears kicks out the rear a little bit on the AstroTurf on exit as well, trying to get a good a run we can. So let's have a look at that move as they come in towards bus stop. Carstensen just moving around a little bit as they work their way onto the back straight. Going to have the inside line for Blanchemont and then the outside for the start of the bus stop. In fact, got the move done just purely on the slipstream as McDonald tried to push him almost through Blanchemont.
Yeah, did almost give McDonald the opportunity to come back. I think he needs to keep that in mind, that he could well possibly do that. Right, back to live.
Yeah, so front 3 then just a couple of tenths apart as they start to spread out down the Kemmel Straight. They're going to go 3 wide yet again. So we've got Carlson on the inside, Mears in the middle, McDonald stuck on the outside. I think outside's the spot I would want to have, but they just about got themselves sorted, in fact, through the overlaps before they get to the corner. So Mears takes the lead, McDonald 2nd, Carstensen down to 3rd as McDonald takes a fair chunk of curb on the second part of the Lecum.
So you've got 2 laps really to go.
Rob Graham falling down the order. He's had an issue in Lecum, I think. Yeah, he's just lost 5 or 6 spots.
Slow down or something for Rob Graham.
Fair bit of damage on the front of that car as well as he makes more contact. So let's see what happened. He turns into Lecum, rear steps out a little bit, looks okay. Looking pretty clean for now. Is it just going to step out? Yeah, it just steps out on turning. And
it just smashes the little bit of the wall, the Armco there, that just lips out. So of all the places, like you say.
Yeah, unfortunate that just sticks out. just an extra couple of feet too much for him. Almost escaped it. But yeah, say the weight transfer isn't normally too much of an issue in this car, swapping back and forth through the corners as Graham has another issue in Puon with that damaged car. But yeah, just got away from him on the exit at Lecum there. Right, so back at the front, Mears still leading Carstensen, then McDonald as they work their way onto the back straight in just a moment. But they've just spread out slightly, but again, the straight's going to allow them to close straight back up again. But this lap is looking pretty good so far for Mears. Interestingly, you're looking at the fastest laps. It's probably just off tracks, isn't it? Benjamin Mears' fastest lap is a 1.5 slower than the guys behind, but I'm guessing that's recorded off tracks. So that's not allowed him to.
I would think so, yeah. There's another little move. Mears, and then back. back it goes again, as often happens at the bus stop, and McDonald's actually going to capitalise on that, is he? And get into second? No, not quite. Mears holds on to that. Final lap of the race then, 1.7 seconds behind is Steve Hefford. So not going to want to fight too much, because that could open up an opportunity for Hefford in the final lap to have a little go at these guys. Fastest lap of the race just put in by Martin Plowman, 2 minutes 46.93. So what a great lap there. Here we go then. Oh, jeez, they're jinking out already as they go through the kink. All of a sudden, Mears, he's going to get it, and it looks like McDonald's may be even pushing him down the straight. Joe, it's just too far back to go around the outside, so Ben gets this one going into Lacombe. And Carterson have a little bit of work to do. Hefford all over the gravel there, absolutely just winging it, trying to get every last bit of time out of that car. He's got that gap down. That's come down to 0.8 of a second now, so he has got much larger draft for the final lap of the race. Then will he be able to do anything going into the bus stop? I don't know. Right now, Mears is not worried about Hefford, worried about Joe McDonald and Carterson, who are right on his tail. There's a great battle going on further back as well. That's between Cooper and Daniels. They're side by side, exchanging positions all over the shot. You can see them just in the background there. But we'll stay with this lead battle as it is the final lap of the race. Lee's just having a couple of connectivity issues. He should be back in a second. But here we go then. Can Mears hold on to this? He's got just 30 seconds to do it. Carterson lost 2 places for this race so far. He'll try and get that back if he can. Goes side by side with McDonald. Which driver is going to get the best of the draft? Hefford is there, but 0.6 of a second away. So no chance, I think. Although gets an absolute amazing run through Blanchimont. He's now looking around the outside of McDonald's. Carterson also looking around the outside. The outside usually works because you have the inside for the next corner. And from nowhere, McDonald comes flying in there. Mears gets it all wrong. There's all kinds of collisions on the final corner there as well. Carterson's going to get it. Assuming doesn't get a slowdown penalty. Someone else is getting spun. That's Delmont. He up 20 odd places. Get it in reverse. Adam! Reverse gear! So does a 360, but could have done a spinner. Someone I think got disqualified there as well going across the line. So wow. Crazy finish to that one. And yeah. I think we kind of expected that. Poor Adam Delmont, just unlike the last time on the last lap where there was a spin and he went across the finish line, it stopped him short. And yeah, decided to opt for the spin recovery rather than the donut. Who else have we got out there that may still be trying to finish until we can get your final standings? Just a couple of people. Here comes Jamie Ayres, of course, got collected very early on. And then we've got Peter Van Gaal, who, if he can, car's in a right state, but of course, what it's going to do, and for anybody who doesn't know as well, like why would he just not pull over with it being this bad? Of course, if you're more than 2 laps down in this series, you won't score any points whatsoever on a drop. You don't really want to be dropping that amount of points. So staying on the lead lap or 1 lap down as a minimum, or a maximum, sorry, is kind of what these guys want. But also, it gives him a chance to get the reverse grid race. So you can have a really bad race and then get it back within that 2 laps down window and get reversed onto sort of like the first few rows. And of course, you can bounce back on the points very quickly. So Peter doing exactly the right thing there. Right, it does come across the line. Let's bring final classification up. And Niles
And
Carson.
I can run us through that if you'd like, Alex. As a blue screen of death robs me of seeing the finish, but I managed to catch the bus stop on the YouTube stream as I got loaded up. So Neil Carson then, taking the win from that eventful last couple of corners there from Benjamin Mears in second, Joe McDonald in third. Steve Hefford then did take that fourth position, ending up only 1.2 seconds off the lead. So with all that instance at the front there, Hefford could have, who we saw climbing through the field the whole race long, could have snuck easily onto the podium there, if not the win. Kip Stevens then taking fifth position as well, Jason Cooper in sixth, Will Daniels in seventh with Martin Plowman in eighth, Marcelo Pagnan in ninth with Michael Barry in 10th, Ralph Cullinan in 11th with Adam Delmont in 12th, Cesaro Rizzo in 13th with Adam and Ali in 14th, Nick McCarron in 15th with Abdul Al-Miri in 16th, David Ayres in 17th with David Hampson in 18th. 19th position is Luke Cooper with Max Wright in 20th, Cole Hardy in 21st with Martin Sampson in 22nd, Michael Wortman in 23rd with Jerome Usam in 24th, Stephen Cooley in 25th with Jack Ashton 26th, Rob Graham 27th with Roy Verke 28th, Mikey Key in 29th with Jamie Ayres in 30th, Peter Van Gool in 31st with Elmer Ellicott in 32nd, Brian Holmes in 33rd with James McRitchie 34th, so he'll be the last car eligible for reverse grid because everyone else now are 2 laps down or more. So Graham Stessford in 35th, Stuart Dick in 36th, with Billy Rose 37th, Scott Malcolm 38th, Cole Jacquelet 39th, Ashley Beard 40th, and Craig Jones, who we saw losing out at Blanchemont in the final spots.
It was James McRitchie who literally got himself disqualified like a gnat's whisker from the start-finish line. So, and he would have been easy inside the top 15. He's in the chat right now. Can't quite believe what is going on. So, yeah, shocking, really. I don't quite know what happened as well, because I didn't see any contact, but there must have been something there. It was so tight. But yeah, unfortunately for James. Right. Wheel time. Get it up. Get it spun. Straight into it. Clearly, Jeroen is not bribing me enough at the moment, just ignoring all of his suggestions. Another large one, Lee, and too large for what we need, I think. So even though we have got, like I said earlier, this grid that could potentially have a bit of fun with this, Will, it's 45th.
Yeah, so as I say, then that will put James McRitchie then with that issue at the end, granting him a pole position for the start of race 3 with Brian Holmes, who we saw having issues mid-race, but we saw him super strong in race 1, lining up alongside him in second, with Ellicott just behind it in third. So that's going to be interesting between Holmes and Ellicott there, I think, for the battle for the win, maybe for race 3. So again, we'll be back in not too much longer for the start of race 3 then. Whilst we're away, you can check out Apex Racing TV, your broadcasters for the evening, on Facebook, on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and you can also follow on Twitch. All of those call signs are just Apex Racing TV for all of those different platforms, and also subscribe, of course, to the iRacing Esports Network on YouTube as well. So yeah, we should be back shortly for race 3 of the evening, and we shall see you then. Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network and the BSR MX5 Pro Series, brought to you by Apex Racing TV. Here we are again for race 3 of the evening at Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. My name is Lee Thompson, joined in the booth and on cameras by Alex Simpson. And we can see the guys already lining up on the grid, ready for this third race of the night. So we shall have a quick run through the grid for you. James McRitchie, as we said at the end of race 2, has got the reverse grid pole position. Alongside him is a very happy, I'm sure, Brian Holmes. Third place then is Elmer Ellicott, in third. Peter Van Gool in fourth. Jamie Ayres in fifth. Mikey Key in sixth, with Roy Viverke in seventh. Rob Graham in eighth, with Jack Ashton in ninth. Steve Cooley in 10th, with Jerome Ursum in 11th. Michael Wortman in 12th, with Martin Sampson in 13th. Cole Hardy in 14th, with Max Wright in 15th. Luke Cooper in 16th, with David Hampson in 17th. David Ayres in 18th, with Abdul Alami in 19th. And I can hear the res building, so I think we're going to cut off there as the lights go green for James McRitchie and Brian Holmes off the front row. Good start, it looks like, from McRitchie initially. Holmes isn't going to be quite close enough to challenge into turn 1, but Van Gool got the jump on Elmar off the line. How busy is it looking? I hear contact from one of the front cars on exit of La Source, but they're all going pointed in the right direction still. No big movers on the timing screen, nobody having any big problems so far, it looks like.
Yeah, good clean start. We switch back to the back, not seeing anything at all. So, yeah. Come on, just like race 1. A great race 1. Nice and clean. And in fairness, race 2 was pretty good too. So let's have it again. Oh, there's someone darting off at the top of Radion though. And not sure who that was, but I think they're okay.
And at the front, Brian Holmes is taking the lead on the run down in towards Lake Coombe. Peter Van Gool then in second, with James McRitchie third. So busy all the way through the field. We can see a little bit of contact in the front of the camera there into Lake Coombe. At the back of the field, they're looking like they're 3 wide, slotting themselves in nicely once they actually get to the corner. Pretty good job. I see one car on the grass there, but everyone else looks like they got through pretty cleanly. So decent job from the guys there. Just seeing David Ayres falling down a little bit, Joe McDonald falling down a little bit as well.
Definitely.
But no big incidents, I don't think.
Yeah, he seems okay. Maybe just a bit of contact or something like that, maybe a slowdown or something. But yeah, you say everyone's still going strong. This seems to be like the main area where all the action is. Just super close, and this is around sort of 16th, 17th. No respite. Just ahead as well, Roy Viverke right in it with his Automatic Not Killed teammate Rob Graham, side by side.
And Michael Barry there was it that ended up on the grass first of all, and then David Ayres having an issue as well. So both cars getting spat out on the outside of the corner there, but fortunately both avoiding the wall, I think, so they should be good to recover and keep going. Ralph Cullinan is out of the race in pit lane from the looks of it. Otherwise, he's the only obvious retirement that we're seeing so far. So at the front, Brian Holmes still hang on to that lead, but it's looking super close, just a couple of hundredths between him. James McRitchie in second, with Peter Van Gool in third still, and James Holmes, side by side with McRitchie, I think, from the timing screen. And the spin for Billy Rose into the wall, along with Benjamin Mears, I think, as well, on the exit of Blanchemont. And awful rejoin to the circuit there, unfortunately, from Billy Rose, tagging the next car in line as well.
Yeah, fortunately I didn't see it, but I'm gonna get a replay of it. So sorry, Billy. Here it's gonna be. There's the rejoin. Bang. Yeah, hard hit as well. So, unfortunately, that'll get reviewed undoubtedly in the stewards panel, and some penalties are gonna come out of that. I have no doubt. Back to the front though, and McRitchie and Holmes side by side down the Kemmel. Actually, McRitchie just getting to the lead.
Yeah, like I say, looking very, very tight all the way through the field still, as we've been seeing the rest of the time. Yeah, McRitchie from Holmes, from Van Gool at the front still. There's the cars in the midfield trying to work their way through Lecombe. Still just about side by side all the way to the exit as well, but they're looking pretty under control and clean for now. I'm just having slight technical issues for the minute, Alex. So I'll try and get back with you.
Big collision. It's Max Wright who's actually gone around. A few cars into him as well. He's okay. It doesn't look like he's in too much damage, but he has lost an absolute boatload of places, down 18 spots now as well. So, yeah, unfortunate for Max. No problem, Lee. I'll stay with it right now. Looking at Luke Cooper, who's up 6 spots so far. He is tucked up behind Roy Viverke and another Automech car as well, which is Rob Graham. So he'll be looking to try and get a couple of places as soon as possible. There's a bit of a gap really started to appear. This is from sort of 6th place down to 7th. Mikey Key, really the first car of the next gaggle, if you would have it. So I don't think we're going to see many drivers move from this sort of secondary pack in towards the front one. So I'm pretty confident one of the winners is going to be in the top 6 right now.
Yeah, as you say, looking very, very likely for one of those guys to be able to make that opportunity count. As at the front, working away in towards the bus stop, 2 rows of side by side as they come in. Brian Holmes and McRitchie with Ashton and Van Gool as well side by side. A little bit of contact there between McRitchie and Holmes mid corner. That's going to allow Ashton, I think, to try and get the jump on both of them. How are they going to look as they come from under the sign? 3 wide and then 2 wide just behind. And who's going to be latest and bravest on the brakes? McRitchie trying to hang on, but Ashton sweeps around the outside, takes that position. Nicely done. Doesn't quite chop the nose off of McRitchie there. And all of this has just allowed Holmes just to try and scamper off down the road 1.5 seconds further up. And then it's Ashton, then McRitchie, then Ayres, then Van Gool, and then a little bit of a gap then back to 6th position of Ellicott.
It was 1.6 seconds as they come out of the turn 1 hairpin there. I'll be interested to see exactly what it is by the time they reach the end of Kemmel here, because I think he's going to lose 3-4 tenths. And even though they're not really drafting him, look, he's right over to the right, trying to avoid the draft as much as possible. Well, these guys are battling it out. This is brilliant racing between them, mind you. Still only 3 wide. We haven't seen that impressive 4 wide like race number 1, but not bad. They try and go through the corner 3 wide as well.
Oh, and just a touch of contact, I think, between Ashton and McRitchie there as well, mid-corner, but they sort themselves out. Van Gool's got a great run on the back of McRitchie. Is he going to have a little look into the right hand? And now he is. He's managed to hang on to that inside. McRitchie trying to hang around the outside, but actually I think Van Gool looked like he got good speed mid-corner and got the move completed. And I don't think McRitchie can quite come back to the corner with no name. Well, I didn't think he could, but he had a go anyway and just ended up tagging the rear of Van Gool there. And Ritchie's the one that really lost out. He's dropped a fair bit back.
Look at this.
Look at that train of cars.
That is insane. I need a good camera shot. That's going to get it. Actually, that's come up in the blimp, but there's even less of a view. There we go. Just insanely close. Massive gag on our live timing screen. You can't see it, but we've got maybe 20 cars that are highlighted in red just to indicate that they're within 0.2 of a second of each other. That is insane. You can just see it there. What a great shot, actually, as they also through the S's.
Yeah, we're seeing a great job so far tonight of overall pretty good clean racing the whole way through. We're not seeing instance the whole way through. It's in the middle of a pack there, right on cue. Fluorescent green car there. Was it just in front of Cole Hardy? Yeah, he ended up tagging the car ahead and then getting tagged from the car behind, I think. So a little bit of contact back towards the bottom of the top 20, but otherwise the rest of them are looking pretty good as cars behind working away through Blanchemont as well. Cole Hardy there going to be stuck on the outside of Blanchemont with Plowman looking like he's getting that position done, and that's going to look very, very tight as they come towards the bus stop now.
Everyone hard on the braking. Almost just the cars are just not able to stay straight as they're so late on the brakes there, just moving around underneath them. Everyone seems to be okay. Oh,
and a spinner in the background as well on the exit of bus stop. Didn't quite catch on the timing screen who it is that's falling down the order, but recovering now at the back of the field.
Possibly Craig Jones. Let's have a look. Let's see. Not been a great meeting for Craig, is it? He was obviously involved in that incident in the last round. A bit of damage there. That's what caused him, and then just it wasn't actually Craig.
Yeah, tagged the other guy.
And again, I don't know who that was. It was Graham Cresford. I think Graham actually was the car that got involved with the rejoin, wasn't it? Last race? I'm not sure, but yeah. So, and that's what happens when you push the fast forward button by mistake.
So back live then, we can see Jamie Ayres at the front, Brian Holmes in second, Peter Van Gool in third, and Jamie Ayres almost being pushed around the corner by Brian Holmes there as he both clamber all over the curbs, trying to straighten up the track as much as they possibly can. So this 5-man group looking like they, are the guys that are going to be fighting for all the podium spots. Erlicott is just, Jack Ashton is just a little bit too far back in that 6th position. He's not really going to have an opportunity to get himself onto the back of the grid as Holmes looks to make a move on Jamie Ayres side by side on the entry to the corner, but actually has to back out in the end, and Ayres holds that position. You see how much more curb Brian Holmes is taking as they come through the super fast chicane there at the back of the circuit, but able to, it allows him to keep himself right on the gearbox of Ayres, and he's going to be in a very strong spot now as they work their way towards Blanchemont. And in fact, he has to move out so early before really getting a chance to build up any momentum in the draft. So Ayres going to have the inside, Holmes going to have the outside as they work their way, as I said, up towards Blanchemont. Can Ayres keep it tight enough through Blanchemont not to run out towards Holmes? He can, gave each other plenty of space, and it's going to be side by side just behind as well between Van Gool and McRitchie. So 2 by 2, they're looking like as Holmes gets the overlap before they hit the braking area. A little bit of contact, I think, between Ayres and Van Gool. McRitchie holds on to that 3rd spot, and a big slide on the power for Jamie Ayres. But Brian Holmes got that spot. Ayres 2nd, McRitchie in 3rd.
Yeah, good battling once again throughout this race. Pack has separated apart a little bit. It's a good little battle going on here, but problem for Hardy, I think. He's dropping down as well, a couple of places. I just saw some side by side, and all going pear-shaped for him. So I don't know quite what that was about, but pretty tasty going into turn 1 nonetheless.
Yeah, and Hardy there trying to recover around the outside of La Source, and back at the front we can just see, is that going to be a slowdown penalty maybe for, was it Van Gool?
Van
maybe
Gool, I think.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see if he drops back on the timing. He is, I think he is easing off a little bit, I think. So yeah, Van Gool cut the corner at the top of Radion, but here comes James McRitchie then on Jamie Ayres. He lifts, actually decides not to try and move up the inside as they head towards Lake Coombe. Is Holmes still going to be on the inside? He is there, he is, appears in shot, so Holmes holds on to that 2nd position. Van Gool looks good, actually. He didn't end up dropping very far behind at all, so if he did get a slowdown, it was just very slight, and he's well and truly still in the hunt of this lead back. And we can see the guys trying to hold as tight as they can through that right-hander there. Brian Holmes able to take a much tighter line all the way through than Jamie Ayres, and is really using the curbs a lot more than Ayres as well. Ayres is not tending to scrabble over the apex curbs so much, whereas Holmes is much more comfortable getting all over the inside of that corner. Let's have a look as they come through Pouon as well. Bit of a later turn in, I think, from Holmes compared to Ayres on that one, but looking at the timing screen, there's not much between them. The interval is staying pretty static as now they head to this super fast right-left switchback of a chicane. How much over the curbs does Holmes get? Again, uses all of the curb and more, and so does Ayres that time as well. We can see up ahead on that 2nd apex. So it's looking so evenly matched between these 3 guys. Down a gear, we can hear from McRitchie, just misses the apex ever so slightly. We can just see Holmes just creeping away, but the toe very quickly is going to pull McRitchie back as they work their way down the back straight, and Holmes already has to move out.
You look at the lap times, you think this is quite slow, but actually when you're on board, the guys are absolutely on the limit of the car. And, makes it all the more exciting. So still fast, still not slow at all, these little MX5s. Tell you what, a lot of drivers in the sim get out in one of these in real life. They're not gonna push it to the limits like this.
No, absolutely. Holmes got the overlap down the back straight. McRitchie trying to get the move done on the inside of Ayres there, but tries in the end for a cutback. You can see a little bit too aggressive on the power, has to correct, doesn't quite get the run out of the corner. So yeah, Holmes holds on, Ayres in second, and under lots of pressure though from McRitchie, who's right underneath his rear wing still, as they come into the final lap now as they turn into La Source. So just another 2 minutes 49 or so to go for these guys, and still easily could be any of the top five. All it's going to take is a little instant, and even Ellicott at the back there could be in for a decent shout. But Holmes had a great La Source, pulled out 10th somehow just from the start finish line to there really. But Ayres under lots of pressure from McRitchie, look, pushing him up Eau Rouge practically, McRitchie there.
The right thing for Richie as well was to go to the right, so he knows he gets the draft off of Holmes. Holmes needs to play them together and just sort of put his car in the middle and make them sort of come together a little bit. He's going to maintain the lead because of that gap. I mean, just look at the snake on the mini map right now, as well as around the outside goes Ayres on McRitchie. Is he going to get it done? He has the inside for the second part, but then the advantage is going to go back towards McRitchie, and he maintains second place. Van Gaal maybe will get a good run on his teammate. No, he stays there. It's under a little bit of pressure though. But yes, everyone continues through there. But yeah, just like I say, the pack is still relatively close together. When you look at where everybody is on that mini map, you can see kind of what we're seeing on our live timing screen. Just a few cars that are basically sort of separated from there, the 31st, 32nd, and 34th cars.
Yeah, so great visual example of just how much of a train of cars it's been all through races. McRitchie and Van Gaal a little bit wide through Pouon there, and in fact Van Gaal losing out to Ellicott because of it. Is he going to be able to hang on to the inside of the next corner? Not quite. So Ellicott moves up a spot finally. Hang on a minute. Yeah, it's fine, to third. Sorry, no, we've lost Jamie Ayres. I knew we'd missed somebody. Jamie Ayres has gone, Alex. He's all the way down in 30th now. So Jamie Ayres was in that second position and somehow missed it as we were looking at the timing screen. Leaves a big hole for McRitchie to close on Holmes now. So it looks like Brian Holmes should have this secured 1.3 seconds down the road. McRitchie now in second. Ellicott, as I said, sneaked into that podium spot for the minute, just getting by Van Gaal at Pouon a minute ago.
Yeah, not quite sure exactly what happened there. Just was that disconnect or off-track limit or something along those lines? But yes, it's robbed him of a good finish. We'll have to have a look back and just try and see if it is. But here comes Brian Holmes then, final lap of the race. They're battling behind. We'll just see how that one plays out.
Van Gaal tried everything he could up the inside there, but going to get a little bit of a run on exit, but it's probably not going to be enough. Holmes then McRitchie. Let's have a look at Van Gaal. It is almost. Doesn't quite get it, but Ellicott didn't allow him any space on the side of the track, but Van Gaal tried to push by as well.
Get on with Mikey Key.
Big incident looks like there on the approach to the bus stop.
See if we can't find out exactly what happened to him. If I can find him in my timing screen now, of course. Just flip away and he's moved. Here we go. Give us an idea exactly what happened.
So working our way through Blanchemont then on the outside, just gets squeezed a little bit, spin up ahead actually, and then and then just contact between the two cars, left rear to right front, and it comes straight across the track. There's a brake pedal there somewhere that you could try and find, but unfortunate for the innocent party, just getting completely T-boned there on the approach to the bus stop.
Yeah, unfortunate. Final lap shenanigans does often happen, and that really comes from the fact that there's a huge slipstream. There's always going to be people wanting to get these moves on the final lap of the race.
So let's see if we can figure out what happened to Jamie Ayres on that last lap. And say he was looking pretty strong to challenge Brian Holmes on that last lap, even though Holmes had just pulled a slight bit of a gap. But in the end, it was Holmes from McRitchie from Ellicott, and Ellicott had been running fifth pretty much the entire second half of the race, so he did well to scrape that podium spot at the end there.
Trying to find some events for Jamie. See exactly what happened. I'm not really getting anything.
Yeah, so maybe just a disconnect or something. Then say he certainly
Yeah.
plummeted down the order, and I'm not convinced then that I saw any movement from the timing screen after that. So perhaps we'll hear from the guys later on as to exactly what happened. But yeah, unfortunate for him. That just maybe robbed us of just a last gasp battle for those top 3 spots in the end there, or top 2 spots rather. But yeah, cracking race again as normal. As I said, super busy all the way through the field.
This was the previous lap, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, so this looks like the final lap. That looks like the final lap there, doesn't it? Because Holmes had a little bit of a gap on the last lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon this is the final lap here. So let's have a look at Ritchie from Ayres. So I thought Ritchie was maybe behind Ayres, but there you go, just disappeared. So maybe corner cut. I didn't quite see. I wasn't really looking for it, so maybe it's a corner cut and he got a DQ. But otherwise, yeah, just straight disconnect and just vanished.
Yeah, it does look like that. So, oh well, there you go. I think everybody has crossed the finish line, so we can bring the official standings up.
So Brian Holmes then from the starting on the front row does manage to take the win for a race 3, finishing ahead of James McRitchie in second. Elmer Ellicott then, as we said, in third with Peter Van Gool in fourth. Jack Ashton in fifth with Adam Delmont in sixth. Luke Cooper then in seventh with Jason Cooper in eighth. Dave Hampson in ninth with Steve Hereford. 10th, Roy Verke, first of AM drivers in 11th with Adam McNally in 12th. Jerome Ursum in 13th with Will Daniels in 14th. Martin Plowman in 15th with Nick McCarron in 16th. Cole Hardy 17th with Joe McDonald finishing in 18th position. In 19th, we've got Max Wright in 20th, Ashley Beard. Michael Wortman then in 21st with Michael Key in 22nd. Craig Jones 23rd. Michael Barry 24th. Martin Sampson in 25th with Scott Malcolm 26th. Marcelo Pagnan in 27th with David Ayres in 28th. Niels Carterson in 29th with Ralph Cullinan in 30th. Jamie Ayres then did get classified in 31st. Rob Graham 32nd. Cesaro Rizzo 33rd. Abdul Almari in 34th with Stuart Dick in 35th. Graham Sesford in 36th. 37th position was Stephen Cooley. And 38th was Kip Stevens. 39th, Benjamin Mears. In 40th is Billy Rose. And then finishing at the back was Carl Jacquelet in 41st position. So, I think, yeah, for the last car eligible for reverse grid, I believe it's going to be Jamie Ayres. So we shall see. We'll see what the reverse grid gives us, or the reverse grid wheel gives us.
Yeah, bring it up. Even though there were drivers were shown as one lap down there, I think we can work exactly what was going on. So I'm not sure why that was doing that, but here we go then. Pretty decent spin. It looks like it might be a full -1. Will it tick over to 40th? I don't think it's going to make it. Full -1 it is.
So I believe then that is going to perhaps give us Ralph Cullinan for pole position, or maybe just confirm that. No, I'm wrong. So full -1 would be Cesaro Rizzo then.
Indeed.
In pole position. Rob Graham is going to get the spot alongside him in second, and that allows Jamie Ayres just third spot for the final race. So a little bit of silver lining maybe for his issue just at the end of the race there. Right, so one more race for the night to go here at the BSR MX5 Pro Series. Again, whilst we're on the break, that gives an opportunity, if you're enjoying the broadcast, to like the iRacing Esports Network, or subscribe rather on YouTube to the iRacing Esports Network, and also perhaps share a like to your broadcasters tonight, Apex Racing TV, on Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and YouTube. The tag is just Apex Racing TV for all of those different platforms. And we shall see you after the break for the final race of the evening. Welcome back to the final race of the evening for the BSR MX5 Pro Series here on the iRacing Esports Network, brought to you by Apex Racing TV. Lee Thompson here with Alex Simpson again, and you can see from all those headlights on the pit straight that it's gone into darkness now for this final race, with Cesaro Rizzo starting from pole position, Rob Graham lining alongside him in second, with Jamie Ayres in third. Ralph Cullinan is going to be in fourth, with Niels Cartington in fifth. David Ayres in sixth, Marcelo Pagnan in seventh, Scott Malcolm in eighth, with Martin Sampson in ninth, Michael Barry in 10th as the lights get ready to go to green. And so as they launch away, it looks pretty clean all the way through the field initially. We see everyone dancing around, trying to find a little bit of space for the braking zone into La Source. I hear contact as well. And big movements. Cullinan, Pagnan, cars falling down the field, Max Wright. And spin on the exit at La Source as well.
Yeah, not such a clean one. Got a couple of cars facing the wrong way. So the first one we've had all night, really. It's been pretty tasty. I think that's, yeah, Max Wright with some damage there, struggling, trying to keep the car out of the way as they go through Row Rouge. That could be disastrous, mind you. I know he does, gets it well out of the way, so good driving from Max there. Oh, bit of door bashing going into down Kemmel for I think that was Pagnan and Cullinan, I think, and they survive, continue, but yeah, a bit tasty, that's for sure, on the opening lap. This one, race 4 of the night, always the same.
Yeah, as I say, looking super busy all the way through again, seeing cars dancing around left, right and centre. But they're working their way through. More contact I can hear as well as they come around the back of the circuit now. And we can see the darkness in the skyline distance. The headlights are lighting up the circuit. Wouldn't want to be around here in the proper dark without any circuit lighting, of course, at Spa. And a little bit wide there from Plowman, is it? Just allowing, or the other way around, sorry, a little bit wide from Malcolm, allowing Plowman to go up the inside there through Radion. Or through Puon rather, and getting that 9th position.
To the inside, Carterton there. He's had some good races tonight, featured strongly. Race 2 and 4. Tends to be the way it can go, you know. You can have a good race sort of 1 and 3, it works well like that, and then 3 and 4. So lots of people have a good opportunity to score good points.
Yeah, we're seeing Pagnan really challenging Rizzo hard as they work their way down towards Blanchemont. Pagnan's going to have the outside, so can Rizzo hang on to the inside as they get into Blanchemont? Looking pretty even so far, but Pagnan does manage to hold on, and he's going to be in a pretty strong position now as they come into the bus stop with teammate Carson just behind watching. But Rizzo much later in the race. Can he get it stopped? He can, so maybe just slightly cautious from Pagnan that time on opening lap. I mean, there's no rush, got plenty of time for your race. But these top 5 cars breaking away now from Mikey Key 2 and a bit seconds further behind. We just see the cars streaming through the bus stop. A little bit of contact in background as well. Car nearly got turned, I think, as the headlights are lighting up the front straight.
Yeah, there you go. Great shot of them all going into turn 1. Like an opening lap all over again, isn't it? Look at it, it's crazy. A little bit more space out there this time, no contact. So that battle really from David Ayres, sorry, not David Ayres, Jamie Ayres, all the way down. Gee, let's have a look where this goes down to. It's all the way down to 36th place. There's less than a second separating sort of every car in that little pack. It's more like 0.2 of a second every car. That is insane. You saw the shot. There was a car coming down the Kemmel straight there.
Yeah, there's a cracking view from the crane cam on that one, seeing them all working their way down. And so really it is just these top 5 cars, and then it's the whole rest of the field trying to catch them back up. So it looks like Jamie Ayres is having connection issues maybe. Again, we were Wondering what the issue was last race as he disconnected just at the end, but maybe struggling again. And a little dive up the inside almost from Mikey Key there, but thinks better of it. And actually, Ayres gets a good run off that corner as ends up pressuring Steve Hefford now as they come into Puon. 2x2 behind as well. It's going to be tough into Puon. Can both of those sets of cars keep it on the straight and narrow? Well, Mikey Key goes very, very wide, but keeps the momentum. And otherwise behind, they looked pretty strong as well. Martin Plowman and Dave Hampson. Dave Hampson coming quick and having to check up a little bit behind Mikey Key there.
Yeah, don't really know where to look, Lee, to be honest. I'm just, I'm looking at the timing screen and literally I could click 20 different places on this timing screen randomly, and we're going to have an absolute great battle on our hands no matter what we see. Rob Graham here in the thick of it. Who is he got behind him? So he's got Carl Hardy just behind him. Right in front of him is Adam Delmont. And they're swapping positions further up as well. Nick Karen, I think, just lost a couple, so I don't quite know what happened to Nick, but dropping down a couple. And they're exchanging positions. They're just exchanging positions everywhere.
Oh, just about hanging on, almost free wide through the back of Blanchemont there, and they're going to be close to free wide again as they get to the bus stop. But late on the brakes for the Swift Cooper car there, but manages not to run into the back of, I think it was Scott Malcolm just ahead of him. But again, fanning out as they come out of bus stop, trying to get that run now as they head back towards La Source. And so how is the front looking? We've got Marcelo Pagnan still out in the lead. Cesar Rizzo just 6 tenths behind at the minute, so he's close enough to close right back up in the draft. Carstensen then and Ralph Cullinan. But we've lost one car off the back. That was a 5-car train, and now it's sort of 3.5 cars. So who was that was missing from the top 5 spot? Not sure quite now, but at the front, yeah, Rizzo coming on Pagnan, and in fact, Carstensen looking to try and make it free wide as well. Pagnan backed way out of it and lost that spot to Carstensen, let alone challenging again for Rizzo. And looking at the movers in the field so far for this race, as we see, car spear off into the barrier in the background there, Alex. I think that's, we're trying to look who's dropping down the order. Jerome Urson, maybe, I think it was, just speared straight off into the barrier. Same sort of place that Hamilton did a few years ago when he tagged the back of a Bart marker, was it?
Bang.
Side-by-side contact.
Big hit. Massive hit as well. So that's race done, I think. So what a great shot in terms of, the dusk sort of lighting as well.
And more contact I can hear in the background there, just at the back of the top 10 somewhere through Puon. Yeah, 2 cars spun. So we've got 3 cars, in fact, falling down the order. Mikey Key being one of those, recovering now on the exit of Puon. But yeah, just, this last race now, people are taking a little bit more risk, going for those slightly more difficult moves, and you've not quite got the rest of the night hanging over you to consider as well. So yeah, seeing a few more argy-bargy elbow sort of moments out.
Yeah, to be expected. It's always that way. Race number 4 always just heats up, I think.
And now we're down to actually 3 cars in. So I said it was 5 cars, then 3.5 cars. And now we're just left with 3 at the front. Carstensen in the lead from Rizzo as Rizzo comes back at him, goes so wide through Blanchemont, manages to hang on to the inside line, then ready for the bus stop. Later on the brakes as well, Carstensen's going to try and get a little bit of a cut back he can, wider entry into the second part of the bus stop, but there's just not enough power in his MX5 for a cutback to really make any particular difference. So Rizzo from Carstensen from Pagnan then spins behind for the back of a top 10. It's David Ayres, I think, falling down the order. That sounded like contact again and getting turned, and they're 3 wide at the back as well. And here we go then. So we see Hampson going very wide, taking the Kimi Räikkönen line out of La Source, and Jamie Ayres leading this little pack of 4 or 5 cars as they head to Rouge and up Radion. So it's Ayres and Plowman, then Ashton, then Hampson, with Jason Cooper just a whisker further back, and already in fact he's close well and truly in that group and is getting past Hampson. And they're going to be fanning out again 3 wide as they come down to Kimmel Straight.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any opportunity for whoever that is in the Excite car.
Ooh,
Ashton, I think.
big wiggle.
Well saved.
I didn't quite see how it started. I guess it was contact from one of the other cars. But yeah, tank slapper after tank slapper at 110 mile an hour or so in this MX5 and managed to keep it together, the Cooper, yeah.
Yeah, quick reaction. So easy to get a death wiggle, isn't it? There, you have that moment, try and recover it, and snaps back the other way. But he's alive to the situation he was in. The Plowman in the Fury Sim Sport, car. Glad to say we did get that updated after race 1.
And so at some point, Carton, we've got a little bit bigger gap at the front now. So Cesaro Rizzo, I think, has dropped back a little bit. Yeah, he has from the lead. So Carton's in the second, Carton in the lead, Pagnan second. And yeah, Cesaro Rizzo's had an issue somewhere, 2.5 seconds back now. I don't know if there's an instant showing in your event recorder. There you go, right on cue. Alex is already on the case. Let's see what happened to split these 3 cars apart. Cesaro Rizzo trying to... Yeah, I think this is what we saw lap 4. So they were still 3 cars together as they started this lap last time by, I think. So yeah, I think it's going to be that was Rizzo running off track in Blanchimont. I think that's what your event viewer was for that one. So yeah, I wonder what then caused them to end up a couple of seconds further back. As we again see the contact in the background coming out of the bus stop for the rest of the cars as well.
Could be this one here, possibly.
Well, it looks tight as they were on the brakes, and Rizzo's just going to try and keep his nose in, is he? I think into the second part of Lakumi. Does a little bit of contact, and that's the one. Slightest touch, but just put him into a little slide onto the grass, and that means he's lost touch now with the front 2. Good, mystery solved. And we can see again in the background, almost 4 wide, further back at the 15th position. There we go, into La Source. Ralph Cullinan and Stuart Dick side by side as they come through there. Dick looked like he's just got the drive initially, so we'll see if he manages to hold on to that position as Kip Stevens trying to make his way through as well. So actually, Cullinan's lost 2 spots there through La Source as Kip Stevens is going to try and make Stuart Dick his next car in the sights before they get to Louis-Coulon. So again, here we see fanning out as they come towards Lecombe. 3 wide, Kip Stevens in the middle of that little sandwich and actually manages now to move to the outside. So that's going to leave Stuart Dick ahead of him. Then Cullinan just slotting in behind him. More contact just behind him as well. All car on the grass in the background in Lecombe as well. I wonder if that resulted in contact just after. Jamie Ayres super close, trying to hang around the outside of Jack Ashton alongside him, and Ayres just going to win out. You can't really keep it side by side in that last corner there, corner with no name. So yeah, that allowed Ayres to hold that position, and in fact Ashton lost a spot to Hampson as well. So it's looking like it's going to be a Swift Cooper Esports 1-2, but which order is it going to be in? So Pagnon's been leading for the last couple of laps now. Carterson has been pretty close the whole time, just 4/10 off as they come out the final corner there. They're going to have this lap and then 1 more still to go. So like we talked about earlier on in race 1, I think you just want to be sitting there in second position really and just biding your time waiting for that final lap. It's going to require an instant between these 2 for Cesaro Rizzo to have a shout though, as he's now 4 seconds nearly back. Adam McNally then in 4th. He's gained 17 positions from his grid slot, but Steve Hefford is super close behind. Steve Hefford, I think, and Adam McNally battling side by side as the leaders actually closed a fair bit, but again, maybe Cardenson just backed off a little bit. And I see in the background that battle between McNally and Hefford as they come into the bus stop. And McNally it was that came out on top of that little battle. Steve Hefford still in that 5th position, as Hampson, Delmont, Ashton, Holmes all battling hard as they come over the start-finish line again as well. 3 wide again in the background there. Delmont is going to be on the inside, not really the spot you want to be on in La Source there, but a little bit scruffy from all 3 of them, but they all survive. And we can see Hampson went way off the track to try and make sure he stayed out of trouble there, but didn't quite get the initial drive, but just trying to go back at Ashton now.
Yeah, you thought he'd have the momentum. They're still going to be side by side. Oh, just the
tried
curb,
the
just
Mark
a little
Webber.
bit.
Yeah, tried the Mark Webber, trying to hang around the outside of that initial part of Eau Rouge, but yeah, eventually just didn't quite manage to make it stick.
They're hitting each other as well down that straight. So you said they're going to fan out once again. Definitely 3 wide, no room for 4. Although the Swift Cooper Esport car is looking for a way through. But I tell you what, that was good from Hampson. He, considering the car was out of shape at one point, collected it back up pretty quickly and still got the drive and got the move done. So yeah, good overtake from him.
Okay, so here we are then on the final lap at the front. We've just got 2.5 tenths or so between Cartensen and Pagnan. So in fact, Cartensen has got past Pagnan at some point on this lap, presumably into Lake Combe. So he feels that he's going to have enough to defend on Pagnan, as they're battling so hard still in the bottom of the top 10. They're going to be 3 wide into Pouon here in the background. That is not really going to add up. How did it turn out? Well, all 3 cars still continued on, so they managed to straighten themselves up in time. Cartensen just 2 tenths ahead of Pagnan now, as they're working their way towards the final section of the circuit, battling for the final race win of the night. And Pagnan moves ahead of Cartensen as they come through the sweeping corner there. Looks like they're both right on the limit coming through, but Pagnan got in that position. Now Cartensen's got plenty of time in the tow, so can he force his way past Marcelo? I feel like Marcelo's going to defend very hard as they come into bus stop, but Cartensen's certainly going to have the tow to try and pull him by. So here we go through Blanchimont. Pagnan defends to the inside, so Cartensen early goes to the outside. He knows that Pagnan was going to defend the inside. How are they going to get the cars stopped? Leaving a little bit of space between each other. Cartensen trying to keep his nose, and he's managed it for the second part. Can he get the drive off the corner? It looks pretty good, but just bogs down on exit. Marcelo Pagnan drives away from Cartensen as they come off the corner. Valiant effort from Cartensen to try and hold on, but nothing doing. Cesaro Rizzo dropping back, but finishes 3rd. Then Hefford, then McNally, and then this battle here between Holmes and Hampson, and just about Holmes gets it over the line.
A bit further back as well, still pretty close. One funneling through. Barry there. Seems I should make today. Pretty close as well, and that was between Plowman. What was Plowman doing down there? He was much further up earlier on, and Cole Yakaleta, who was behind. The drivers getting their donuts on now as well. But what a great win for Pagnan.
Yeah, great night overall for Swift Cooper Esports. I think they had plenty of strong results all the way through the 4 races. Did they only miss out on 1 race win maybe between the team, where Brian Holmes won race 3? Question mark, but certainly strong results all night long for those guys. And we could see it was a little bit of a harder race for the guys out there. We had 8 cars not finishing the race that time by. So yeah, a few more instances of contact, but fortunately, all the way through the night, we never had that one massive pile-up trying to wipe out half a field. So great job from the guys as they finished up the night in the dusk in this fantastic circuit as well.
Just waiting for a couple of cars to come around before we can actually bring the official classifications up. I think Rafe here got a lot of damage, but again, here one of the points we touched on this earlier on, why people will limp it round. And he does come across the line, so that is it for the night then. Get the standings up.
So Masala Pagnanen does take the win just by a tenth and a half from Niels Carterson. As I say, Carterson almost got himself in position on the bus stop, but just couldn't get the drive off the corner. Cyrus then finishing 6 seconds down in third, with Steve Hefford in fourth. Adam McNally in fifth, with Brian Holmes finishing in sixth. Dave Hampson is seventh, with Adam Delmont in eighth. Jason Cooper ninth, with Jack Ashton in 10th. Elmar Ellicott in 11th, with Kip Stevens in 12th. Stuart Dick in 13th, with Luke Cooper 14th. Benjamin Mears in 15th, with Rob Graham in 16th. Scott Malcolm 17th, with Ashley Beard in 18th. Roy Verke then in 19th, with Peter Van Gool in 20th. Billy Rose in 21st. Michael Wortman in 22nd. Michael Barry in 23rd, with Carl Jacquelet in 24th. Martin Plowman 25th, with Graham Sessford in 26th. Will Daniels 27th, with Stephen Cooley in 28th. David Ayres 29th. Ralph Cullinan in 30th. And then one lap down was Abdullah Al-Marie in 31st. Jamie Ayres then 32nd, 2 laps down, with Cole Hardy in 33rd. Michael Key in 34th, with Craig Jones in 35th. Nick McCarron in 36th, with Jerome Ursum in 37th. Martin Sampson in 38th. James McRitchie in 39th. And Max Wright had the honour of being the first retirement, finishing in 40th position. So yeah, so 4 action-packed races around this epic Formula 1 circuit, but for the MX5s. Yeah, it's just pack racing pretty much all night, Alex.
Yeah, indeed it was. Good meeting. I'm happy. So we can ask for, really, isn't it? It's just packed action racing, you know? And that's exactly what we've had. We've got a couple of people wanting to have a little chat. I think there's a few people definitely want to have a word. Like Hefford has a great meeting, so we will have a little chat with him. Ben Mears, of course, had that. Was it race number 2? Just nicked away from him right on the final corner as well. So we'll definitely get him in. Adam McNally is a favourite of Jazz's, so we'll see if we can't do it. But Billy Rose has been waiting since race number 1. So if he wants a little chat,
Hello, how are we doing?
Let's get him in there, and apparently he does. So, Mr. Rose.
I'm sure you boys have got a couple of things to ask about tonight.
Well, you might have had
a couple of excursions. Yeah, not tonight was let's just say again was not my night. Really, probably the worst night I've had driving the MX5s. So it wasn't fun.
Just sort of quick recap for us then. Race 1, race 2, race 3, race 4. What happened? How did they go?
It just kind of like the sad thing is I felt confident at this track, like massively confident, and I'd got a lot of practice in before the week. And yeah, race 1, I think I if I remember rightly, I wasn't doing too badly. Started 19th, and I think actually it was my own fault. I spun on the sweeping left-hander when you come down that hill, and I think that was just down to my own error. So just got the car going again. And then I believe race 2, I think I can't remember who I had contact with. I started 7th. I know I had contact with Craig Jones, and on the stream it looks a lot worse. But for me, when I rewatched it back on mine, it looked a lot different. But is what it is. And and race 3 again, got taken out. He did apologise. I can't think it was Nils. He did apologise after the race, and then I just stupidly tried to spin. I thought the car had less damage. Tried to spin the car around, and I apologised to Carl. I said, I didn't realise you were there, buddy. So I put my hands up and say that was my mistake. The last race was a bit better. Managed to get up to 21st. I think I finished from pretty much last place. So, but yeah, just tonight wasn't my night really. Difficult. So I just got to try and keep my head up and stay positive going into next week's and just try and redeem what happened. But yeah, tonight was a bit of a catastrophe, I think is the best word to describe it.
Well, participation is the main thing, as long as you're enjoying yourself while you're out there as well.
Trying to, anyway. It's not so fun when you're facing the wrong way, but...
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but we're like you say, it's all about participation, and I just got to keep my head up and go into next week. We got a long. Adam McNally was just saying just now. We got a long ass season, so I've just got to keep my head up and just think ahead, basically. No matter how difficult tonight's been.
Well, any shout-outs or anything that you want to do before I let you disappear?
I mean, I think one of the guys said last week, I'd just give a shout out to all you guys, everyone behind the scenes at Apex. You know, you guys do absolutely quality commentating after every race. You know, I get a cup of tea and sit in bed and rewatch all the races because it's thoroughly enjoyable. It's not just about the racing, it's about the quality commentary and everything else. You know, the editing done behind the scenes. So, yeah, thank you to you guys for everything you guys do. And even though you did, I see you guys pick up on the clip of me, but no, that's what you guys do, and you're good at what you do. So thank you for that.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Rest of your week, and we'll catch you for next week.
Yeah, definitely. You too. Bye.
Lee, do you fancy having a quick word with Ben if he's around?
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to the commentary booth, Benjamin Mears. Looked like a decent night racing overall, but had a tough one, I think, especially race 2 at the bus stop there, mate.
Hello, guys. Yeah, it was pretty much solid races overall. I had some troubles. Not disappointed. I mean, could have had first, but I overbraked myself as well, so it's like a dodgy situation. Still, I don't think it's my fault, but whatever.
Yeah, it just looked like all 4 of you were just pushing so hard, like I say, on that last lap.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see how, like I said, you'd overshot your braking yourself anyway, and almost that nearly got you out of trouble. You know, perhaps if you'd been hit your breaker marker, you may have been taken out well and truly a fair chunk earlier. So that may have almost saved you.
I was definitely like saving my energy for the end of the race because you know you have the slipstream here and you're just coming to the last lap, last corner. You got to do it in your behind, and it's just you got to push. Same
And
for all the guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, how did you find the rest of your races? Trying to get through the traffic and the sort of madness in the middle of the field. It looked, for the most part, pretty clean. We didn't see any real big incidents.
There's always an incident here and there, but overall, I was involved in one incident in race 3, which took me out. Same in race 1, which I might have caused a bit myself. Yeah, I mean, it's just tough racing around this track, you know. It's a lovely track, but it's hard, so you just gotta go for it. Still managed to finish 3 out of 4, which is always my goal. So.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that. And as I say, it's a cracking circuit and really creates this interesting racing in these little MX5s. Right, anyone you want to give a shout out to then, Benjamin, before we finish up?
Yeah, all the guys at Automac Knockhill and Automac Knockhill, our sponsor, of course. You guys for doing the lovely streams, and myself. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Most important one for last.
Yeah.
All right, okay, lovely. Thank you very much, Benjamin. Good luck for next week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bring Steve Hefford in and have a quick word with him. Steve, welcome to the booth.
Good evening, Alex. Good evening, guys.
You had a pretty eventful race meeting tonight, so made up a fair few places and had a lot of great battles out there, really in the thick of things pretty much every race.
Yeah, really pleased. A bit disappointed because I was really quick here. I was expected to be up the front, but I didn't manage to get a really good quali lap in. But if you're in the front block, you're pretty much okay. But yeah, a couple of small mistakes, and I was gutted in race 2 because I should have had the win. I had the run on everybody around me, but the guys came together and we all sort of ended up running into each other. They put me off the track, but it's hard racing, isn't it? So it happens, really. But yeah, good solid night. It's put me up to 4th. I was
nice.
Not the greatest start last week, but pulled a few spots back this week. So yeah, good.
And race 1, we saw a bit of damage on the front end of the car. I think it was race 1 that we thought maybe that was affecting straight line speed because you sort of moved forward and then dropped back, or was it race 3? I can't remember one of them now.
I think it was race 1. It was with Ches on the exit of turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
We were on different lines, came together. We both got a little bit of damage. So any damage on these cars on the front end, and you just cannot live with the fast cars. You can't make spaces, you know. You can't work your way forward. You're always dropping back then or just hanging on.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get to that stage, it's just a case of damage limitation, really. But not bad. Decent whole points tonight.
So what's SimLab going to do to stop the riot that is the Swift Cooper Esport at the moment? I mean, I couldn't believe that qualifying result. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, deserved it. Yeah, they're very strong. They're very strong. We're going to have to just take it to them. Like I said, I had a bad start, so I've not been pulling my weight, but I've sort of made up for it this week. So hopefully, I can be on his tail with it. In the near future.
Of course, I mean it's very, very early days yet as well. We're only two rounds in, so whopping great big year-long championship this time to sort of come back at these guys. So I have to say I think it's looking really exciting with you guys, them, the Excite guys as well. I mean, coming into this series, I mean I know you with the quarter, the seasonal championships and stuff that have gone on last year. I think we always knew it was going to be quite close, but actually, I think it's the competition has really stepped up for this pro series.
Yeah, it has. It has. This is what I've wanted for years, to be honest. A closed MX5 season where people can get to know each other and respect can build between the drivers, and you can have some really cracking races. And I had a cracking last race with Adam. I think we were side by side most of the lap, but it's just great. I didn't really care where I finished. I was just enjoying the racing with him.
Awesome stuff. Any shout outs before we let you go?
Just to SimLab and the team, the guys who put the work in, and hopefully we can take it to the Cooper guys.
Indeed. Well, all the best for next week, and we'll catch you on track.
Cheers, Alex. See you guys.
Thanks. We're going to finish off with Mr. McNally.
All right.
Adam, how you doing, mate? Well, didn't really see much out there, to be honest, today. I mean, I think you got caught in a couple of little events. I saw you sort of around, not meeting you perhaps wanted.
I think it went pretty much all right. Actually, I got four top 15 still.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that race I got spun round. I went from mid-30s to 21st to spun round, back to 30s and finished 14th. So it wasn't that bad of a race, really.
Yeah.
But we've had good results for the team. We've had a few DNFs. But in general, I think it's been great. Brian got a win. So well done for the Bri.
I was talking to Steve just a second ago about how competitive, last season was pretty close in terms of just a normal Tuesday night sort of seasonal thing. But this is just another level. And actually the racing stepped up to another level this season as well. I just wondered what your thoughts are on that as well.
Oh, the racing's been fantastic. You having to try and make moves around the outside, up the inside, always having to change. And the drivers that you're battling against are good at defending, they're good at passing. You always got to watch the car behind because they're always so close. But, I mean, the racing's been great. I kind of felt the racing. I loved it.
So what's your thoughts for next week and the whole team? I mean, got to get some serious work into kind of compete with these Swift Cooper boys, because at the minute they're looking super, super strong.
Oh, they were proper on pace around here tonight. Really dominant. I mean, Bri had some decent pace in the car as well, but we've just struggled for pace around here as a team. So hoping this can just put this one behind us, move on to the next one. It's a long season, and hopefully we can start catching back up again for the points we lost tonight. Because I know we did come into this in the lead, so it can be done. We can get back up there.
Awesome. Well, anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you disappear and wrap the stream up?
Yeah, as always, you guys for the stream, Jamie and all the lads behind the scenes who do all the work, Excite Energy, LuxSim24, the Racing Mentor, Motorsport Days Live, and the Prio Premature Baby Foundation. And that's it, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Well, all the best and catch you next.
Right, thank you very much.
Mr. Thompson, all over to you to wrap this up, mate.
Yeah, so as I say, it was a cracking night's racing that we saw from these guys at Spa tonight. We're going to have a very different circuit next week at Imola. At least in the MX5, they'll be able to manage those vicious curbs that we've been seeing in several other series through the last few weeks. I'll have a much easier time with it of the F3s than the Radicals. So that may be a more suitable circuit for those guys, we might say.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So so cracking job from the guys, as we said. We look forward to seeing more next week. we should be back, Apex Racing TV, here on the iRacing Esports Network for the World GT Championship next Monday night, and then back here again for the BSR MX5 Pro Series next Tuesday night. If you've enjoyed our content, then make sure you subscribe firstly to iRacing Esports Network, and also perhaps share a like to Apex Racing TV, your broadcasters for the evening, on Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and Instagram. The tag is Apex Racing TV for all of those. And you could also subscribe to our YouTube channel if you'd like to see other series that we run almost nightly throughout the week. So thank you, Alex, for broadcaster and comms tonight, and we shall see everybody again next week.